y'all, welcome back to Santino Sunday Cigar Review. This week we're going to be doing the CAO Vision, so stay tuned.
Get it.
All right, welcome back everyone to Santino Sunday Cigar Review. I'm Mike and this is Maddy. And as Maddy mentioned, we are reviewing the CAO Vision. New release just came out this past week, I believe, at least in our territory. I had mixed feelings, so I'm gonna do something a little different than I do in normal weeks. So my mixed feelings were, I'm always a little leery when a major cigar company like CAO. So first of all, this is a CAO cigar, which is owned by General. We know they have tons of facings. So my skepticism is, when these companies come out with a new cigar, it seems like every 6 months or less, what are they trying to achieve? Are they just pushing another product? We know there's a lot of facings with some of these companies. And so my initial thought was, this is just going to be another generic, boring cigar to review. No offense to the great people at General or CAO. That was my first reaction, and we like to be frank here, and with our honesty on these reviews. So that being said, this cigar has surprised me. So I have to take my own advice and what we tell the audience all the time: get out of your habits and try something new. So now I'll get into a bit of this review. So in the first, I've been smoking this for a little bit as we've been getting started. It's interesting, and Maddy, I'm going to throw it back to you real quick before I go into mine. But can you let the people know what this thing? Give us a little history. Talk about its 2007 inception. Where it's at now, and what it's comprised of.
Yeah, so this cigar originally came out in 2007. It was considered to be one of the top cigars of that time. It was something that everybody really was smoking at the time. It was on all the cigar aficionado lists. There's a key difference between this cigar and the cigar of that time, though. And that main difference is that it's a completely different wrapper binder filler combo than what the one in 2007 was. For instance, one in 2007 was all Dominican, was a Dominican wrap cigar, and this one's actually a Cameroon wrap cigar. I'll talk more about that in a little bit. But it's really well known for being a really good cigar, and it also has some of the most unique packaging that I've ever seen in a cigar as well.
And I do think it's worth just giving a little time to talk about the box and what they did. I will say give them a hand on this, that they came up with a unique design.
Yeah, and so I think it's a really cool design as well. I mean, the lights are something that you've never really seen incorporated into a cigar box before. And it can also work as a humidor as well, from everything I've seen about it. So that's also really cool from CAO as well. Now, on to the wrapper binder filler combo. So as I mentioned previously, this is a Cameroon wrap cigar. It's got an Ecuadorian Sumatran binder and Nicaraguan fillers as well. Now, what this means is that Cameroon wrapper is really going to punch through with that little sweetness, a little bit of almost a cacao kind of taste to it. Are you getting any of that?
Yeah, as a matter of fact, what I've kind of really been surprised and enjoy about this cigar is you get that natural sweetness that you talked about with the Cameroon wrapper.
Yeah.
And I do get a little, like a cooking cocoa, but a little buttery taste in a sense. Now, I try to retro inhale right before we start it. And usually I do that towards the end, but I think I'm going to try it on all 3 segments of the cigar. But it came back, I got a little bit of oatmeal and raisins.
Yeah.
That was a huge surprise for me. So I'm really enjoying this. It is creamy. It holds a nice ash, as you can see. I'm not trying to keep that on there. But anyway, stay tuned. We'll come back with the second, third, and some more information.
All right, y'all. So while Mike's smoking a little bit further into this, I'm going to talk a little bit more about this cigar. So there was only 2,500 boxes of this cigar made across the nation, and actually across the world. And this cigar is a really kind of a rarity. And you're pretty much only going to find it at your local brick and mortars, which is a really cool thing by General as well. It only comes in one size. It's a 7x50 Churchill. And yeah, overall, what are you getting out of it?
Once again, I did the retro inhale um, in our break, and it changed subtly in this second, third. I'm getting more of like a smokehouse smoked meat smell, like if you walked by maybe a smokehouse with some hanging meat. Kind of really interesting. That's just on the retro inhale. That is not regular smoke in this cigar.
Yeah.
Just thought it worth mentioning. What I am picking up in the second, third on the regular smoke is a little bit of maybe like a white pepper is starting to kind of lay on my tongue a little bit, and that spicy tingle is kind of a little interesting. And maybe that's part of the Nicaraguan filler
Yeah,
and stuff like that. So you're
definitely
starting to
that.
see it subtly transition in the second, third away from that cocoa, creamy, sweet, buttery into now a light white pepper. That's kind of interesting. So, all right, I'll smoke a little bit more of this, and we'll get back to you in the last third, and we'll wrap it up with some news and notes, and we'll be right back. Stay tuned. All right, welcome back. So we're going to wrap this up today with our last part of our review and the last third. But Maddy, I do want to talk, because we always try to talk about price point of some of these cigars we review. So folks, unfortunately, this is not going to be a typical price point cigar, because this is a kind of a rare one-off, and especially a new design from the original 2007. This cigar is probably going to be between $20 and $25, wherever you are in the country and taxes and those things go.
Yes.
For us, it'd be closer to that lower portion. But look, I know we'll talk about this, but I know that kind of maybe wipes some people out of trying and purchasing this cigar. We understand that. We try to review a little bit of everything. So, Maddy, you want to add anything, or
Yeah.
you hop right in the pros and cons?
Yeah,
Actually.
so actually, my pro of this cigar is that Cameroon wrapper. So that Cameroon wrapper that he is smoking, so it's getting to be winter here in Missouri. Our humidity is dropping by the day. Cameroon wrappers, whenever you have that humidity dropping, have a tendency of cracking whenever you smoke them
So
too
this
fast.
would be ideal then to let people know that let it
Yeah.
climatize for a few minutes. Go ahead.
Yeah, so that cigar actually I have not seen do all of the typical characteristics of what happens whenever you smoke a Cameroon in the winter. It's actually holding up really, really well. So that's one thing I would note, and that would be my pro for that cigar.
And just for anybody out there that just started, anything with a Cameroon or Connecticut wrapper in winter, as you buy it from your local spot or you pull it out of your home humidor,
Yes.
let a Connecticut wrapper and this Cameroon wrapper climatize and settle for 5 or 10 minutes outside your humidor before you light it up. It will usually prevent any cracking or any problems lighting the cigar. It just
Yes.
has to climatize, because it is a more delicate wrapper than most other wrappers.
Yep.
So there's one point that hopefully that is helpful to some people. Or if you've wondered why some of your cigars have cracked, maybe we've explained that.
Yeah.
All right, so pros and cons. You want to lead us off on
Yeah.
Maddy, what you think about this?
Yeah, so my pro was the Cameroon wrapper on that, and then the con of this cigar is its availability. There's only 2,500 boxes worldwide, so this cigar is going to be pretty hard to come by if you can ever even see it.
Yep. And my con, since she mentioned availability, I will say just price. And we understand on these one-offs. I mean, the company would beg to argue with us that they understand that not every cigar is meant for every price range, but it does knock a certain segment of people out of the box that don't want to spend $20+ on a cigar. So that would be my con. The pro for me is that, as I mentioned on the onset, is it really surprised me. it had a little bit more there than I would have imagined. And that's kind of the whole point of why we do the show. So that being said, wrapping up any of the characteristics for me have kind of, I'm just about to get into my third, but they're staying subtly about the same.
Yeah.
Which is a really pleasant cigar. Another aspect that I've enjoyed is I'm usually drinking something on the show, right? I usually have to quench my thirst. Cigars make me thirsty. This is the first cigar that I can remember smoking in 2 or 3 years that it's been pleasant without drinking anything.
Yeah.
Don't really know why that's important or not, but for me it is. So for you people out there that think you got to have that are like me that want to drink something with their cigar, this has been another pleasant surprise in that arena. All right, so now we're going to switch gears. We have a lot of news to talk about. Maddy, do you want to start us off, and then I'll kind of fill in, or do you want to?
Why don't you go ahead with that one? Yeah.
So, with the advent of the new, with coronavirus and the new restrictions that people are starting to see in their local towns and cities and communities, I do want to reiterate to people that like to smoke the cigar is to get out there, visit your favorite store, your favorite brick and mortar. This would be a perfect time to possibly maybe not buy from the internet. We've talked about why the internet isn't always the greatest source to buy cigars. We're not going to get into that now. But support your local brick and mortar. This would be a very appropriate time. And if you're local folks, after you've supported your favorite store in St. Louis County or St. Louis City the best way that you can, and you still want to get out and have a nice cocktail or bourbon or scotch season, and you want to have a cigar, we are still open at Santino's. We are not under any restrictions. So support your favorite place, but come on in if you're local. Maddy, anything else going on?
So we just recently got in a bunch of really new and really cool bourbons and a bunch of really rare alcohol. So make sure you check out the Facebook page, because I know that those posts will be going live here kind of relatively soon. So make sure you check out the Facebook page and see if you're interested in anything that's appearing on there.
One other last item is I just thought of, Maddy mentioned, lots of the bourbons and scotches come in. This is the time of year in November that most of the highly rare and allocated liquors tend to only come out one time a year. This is the time. So, of course, here at Santino's, we get all the great stuff. There's over 500 whiskeys here and growing every week and month. So definitely come in and check that selection. The craft beer and all the cool seasonal stuff is here. The KBS, the 2 versions of KBS beer are here, which, folks, if you don't know, that's like 11, 12% alcohol in a beer. Lots of wine. So we have a lot to offer. We still are open. And thank you for the support. So, Maddy, anything else before we wrap this up?
No, I think that's good.
All right.
So,
folks, great cigar, the Vision from CAO. And remember, here at Santino's, we drink,
we smoke and we know
know
things.
things.
Have fun, y'all.